Esmaga a lenha, rojão, traz a lenha pro fogão, vem fazer armação. Hoje é dia de sol, alegria de...
Hi guys, my name is Ludmila.
My name is Marilyn.
And today we are going to talk about Brazilian barbecue. How it works and how fun and easy to make this delicious meal. So when I think about Brazilian cuisine, comes to my mind what?
For me, it comes to my mind is meat. It's all about meat, meat, meat. Of course, there are sides, but the focus that we're going to do today is on grilling your meats.
And so we have a pork, wings, Brazilian sausage, and we have ribeye. And also we have this cheese that we grill, and it's delicious. It's also an option for your friend that don't eat meat.
So the main thing we want to talk about today to start with is the charcoal, which is in the background. In Brazil, they traditionally use an organic charcoal, which is actually looks like bits of tree wood. So if you want to use wood in the US here, you can, but make sure it gets down to temperature because it's very hot. We're choosing to use regular charcoal here because that's mostly available to the people here in the US. So one of the differences here in the US is the cut of meat we use. In Brazil, they use something called picanha, which is a cut that we're not used to having here in the US. It would typically be called like the top cap or the round cap. Most butchers here cut that into something smaller and use it for their purposes, say a top sirloin cap. For our purposes, we're going to use a ribeye steak, or you could use a New York steak. But just so you know, the picanha is a traditionally different cut of meat that they use in Brazil. You may be able to specially order it from your butcher, but you need to ask them. So we're going to start with the ribeye.
So we cut 3 inches.
3 fingers,
Yeah.
to make it thick enough to grill.
So that's cut. And also a difference, the only thing we use is rock salt to make this very nice piece of meat more delicious and flavorful.
So you're looking for a very thick cut of meat like this to put in your
To make this. That's awesome. So that's gonna...
You want to salt this very heavily. At the end of your grilling process, you're going to knock the salt off, which is a traditional Brazilian
style, I
that
think.
you do.
Yeah. And both sides. So be very generous.
And make sure you get it on the fat side also.
Yeah.
Which there's a less fat cap on this ribeye than there would be on the picanha, but there's a lot of marbling in the ribeye, which makes up for the fat on the outside.
Let's talk a little bit about the pork. The pork we squeeze lime juice, garlic, salt, pepper, and dry oregano. The chicken, the wings, we use garlic, salt, pepper, and lime juice also. And we let marinate for how long?
24 hours
Yeah,
overnight.
24 hours. But you can do like 3 hours before. 24 hours, it's the perfect, it's the ideal.
And
but
we
you don't
use
need to
the pork
do...
spare ribs. So
Yeah.
you know what kind of cut you're looking for. We had the spare ribs and we cut into 2-inch long sections so that you can skewer those.
Yeah, so it's delicious. No, the sausage, it's a Brazilian sausage that I bought it at a Brazilian store. It's not everywhere you can find a Brazilian store, but you can buy in your favorite sausage. So in Brazil,
They look very intimidating.
Yeah,
of course.
so it's a very long skewer, and since I was little, I have seen all my family making barbecue that we call churrasco, using this. So when I first saw American barbecue, I was so surprised because it's completely different, but it's super easy to use it.
The main thing, especially with the steak, is you want to make sure that you skewer it in half, almost like you're folding it in half, because you want it to cook evenly. So you want to take the skewer here and be very careful.
Let's see how dangerous you are.
And you want to fold it over and do it in half like that.
Good job, American.
Oh, thank you so much. Again, you want to do it in half like this. If it was pecan, you'd have a bigger fat cap. But you want to make sure you fold it over and get it in half like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And get it in the middle. Does that look good?
Looks great.
So, and make sure you have a lot of salt on all sides of it.
So the same we are going to do with the pork.
So the pork, it's going to be a little bit more specific because you're going to go through the bone. As you can see, there's bones in the spare rib. So you want to kind of get it in between the bone when you're skewering. And it depends on the size of the pork. So just try and do your best. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is Brazilian barbecue. It's very rustic. It's not a particular specific type of barbecue. That needs to be like just great. So I mean, it's going to work out perfect.
And I really want to point out something that you can start with the steak and wait for the rest of your friends arrive. So it doesn't need to be ready right away. So it's something that you will start slowly and eat for hours. So you don't need to freak out about having everything ready at the same time.
If you go to a Brazilian steakhouse here in the U.S., my first time, it's overwhelming because there's so many kinds of meat and so many sides. But they come at you one time with meat on the skewer, and they say, would you like some of this? And they shave it for you, and they come back maybe 10 minutes later with another kind of meat. So you don't have to, like Lou said, ask for everything all at the same time. You can grill the steak, start with the pork next, do some cheese, do some chicken. Let your guests go at their own pace. And that's typically how they do it in the steakhouse. So
we are going to do the wings, the chicken. We do a little bit different, but it's so delicious. We wrap the wings in bacon. So it's crispy and it's still moist inside. It's delicious. Let's do it.
oh, I'm ready. I love it. It's my favorite.
So let's.
Yeah, definitely use a thin bacon to wrap it. If it's too thick, the bacon is not going to cook. Everything will burn before the chicken's done. So get a thin cut bacon when you're going to wrap these in the chicken.
Yeah. So let's start.
Yeah. So we use a combination of wings and drumettes, so you can get whatever you like is your favorite, but we like to use both. So again, these have been marinated in garlic, olive oil, lime juice, salt and pepper. So basically take your chicken,
Just 1 second, okay.
wrap a little piece of bacon around, and use the Brazilian skewers. Don't hurt yourself, because they're very dangerous to yourself and others. And you can use some that aren't wrapped in bacon. You don't have to wrap them all. If people don't want bacon, that's okay.
Yeah. So let's do it some without and some with.
So we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a delicious way again. It's so easy to put them all in the skewer because you're cooking them all at the same time. They'll all be done at the same time. And basically with your barbecue, you just pull them off the skewer and it's done. Put it on a platter. You're ready to go.
And the next, I think it's good enough, right?
How many more would you like with bacon or without?
I think it's good. Let's start.
Start with that.
Yeah. And give a little space. And
So there you go.
Oh, perfect. And the next we are going to do the sausage, super easy.
And it's not a particular kind of sausage, whatever you like,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Whatever you can find also.
And we like to do it this way, not lengthwise. Same thing, skewer. And you can find the skewers online. That's where we bought them because when Lou was talking about Brazilian barbecue, where are we going to get these skewers from?
Yeah, you can just Google Brazilian skills. You can find it. I think it's good.
They're readily on Amazon.
Yeah.
Good?
Vem, vaga lenha, rojão, traz a lenha pro fogão, vem fazer a maçã. Hoje é dia de sol.
So right now Marilyn is cooking, and I believe the steak it's perfect. We like medium rare. So if you like well done, you can, or medium well, you can just let cook. So the grilled cheese that I know, it's this cheese that could be any hard cheese or even mozzarella stick. You put in a skewer and let grill.
Vem, Magalenha, rojão, traz a senha pro fogão, TTT coração. Hoje é dia de sol, alegria
Brazilian, they like to hit it and get all the extra salt off when you take it off the grill. So you're going to smack it a little bit, and you see all the extra salt that you don't really need comes off of the steak. Just give it a smack, and then you're good to go. So typically if you go to a Brazilian restaurant here in the U.S. or anywhere, they will slice the steak on the skewer for you. So that's why we're going to show you slicing it right now. And they typically just slice a little bit at a time. And they put it on your plate. And they put it back on the skewer, they put it back on the grill and cook it more until somebody's ready for more of the steak. So you would slice it like that, put it on your plate, take the skewer to the next table, and maybe if you want it more done, they would put it back on the grill for you.
So now it's the best time. Our table are full with Brazilian food. First of all, we have the beans. It's a little bit different from Mexican beans. So it's with Brazilian linguiça, kale, and the bread crumbs, that farofa, that it's made with yuca. So we serve yuca. It's a boiled yuca, delicious with a little garlic. I have Brazilian rice, lots of garlic and onions. We have farofa that it's made with yuca, so it's a gluten-free and it's a dry crumbs, and also we have the beans that we mix in the beans with kale, delicious. We have a Brazilian vinaigrette that it's tomatoes with lime juice, garlic, onions. We have a famous cheese bread that is delicious, yeah. And we have a grilled cheese, melanges, like
My favorite.
yeah, the steak, sausage, pork, and the chicken wings wrapped in bacon. And we are ready to enjoy this delicious meal. All our recipes, it's on our blog, so just check it out. Have a great summer, and go Brazil, go USA.
And don't be afraid to try the Brazilian barbecue just because you're American. Go USA!
Yeah!
Vem magalenha rojão, traz a lenha pro fogão, vem fazer armação.